Hello, everyone. Thank you for helping create the world's first major unsanctioned Pokemon card tournament. We have players from over 20 different states today, so a lot of you made some very grueling road trips, I heard. So, who here is from outside of Illinois? Raise your hand. It took a lot of people to make this tournament happen, so I want to say thank you to a few people in this room. First of all, Kyle Sukovich, thank you for... Kyle and I have talked about putting a tournament like this together for a long time, and a few months ago we were at Portillo's eating food and discussing the idea. And we walked out at Portillo's at 10 o'clock, and we were talking about putting this tournament together. And we kept talking about all these ideas, and it was coming together. So when we were in the parking lot preparing to leave, we wouldn't even get in our cars. We were talking. Before we knew it, it was 2 in the morning. We sat out in the parking lot and talked about this tournament for 4 hours in the middle of the night. Some other people I'd like to thank. Sam Chen, where's Sam Chen? Right there, that beautiful die you have with Chicago's Willis Tower, that is the designer right there, so you can thank him. Carlos Perro, where's Carlos?
Get a haircut.
Carlos is going to help us with our online pairings after next round, so everything's going to go more smoothly. And then I have to thank my judges as well. We have Heidi Craig here all the way from Florida, 8-hour drive. Heidi is your head judge. The other judges in this room are Chris Fula from Ohio.
Yeah.
From Indiana. And John Paul Adams all the way over there, also from Ohio. And there's Miranda in the corner, also taking that 18-hour drive from Florida. So Heidi is our head judge. I'm going to have her go over a few things, especially the time limit, since this is the first event. We're going to be playing 2 out of 3. So here's Heidi to explain to you all everything you need to know.
Well, I'm just going to make up everything as I go along. No, just kidding. Okay, so for Swiss rounds, you guys are going to be playing 75-minute rounds with plus 3 turns. So after you finish game 1, you're going to immediately move on to game 2. The person that didn't win game 1 will decide who is going to go first in game 2. There's going to be a little bit of, this is where the variation is going to come in. So if you go on to game 3, again, if it's within time, you'll just start setting up again, start game 3 normally. However, if it creates a sudden death situation, we call time. Each of you have both or 1-1 on your game states. You're not going to flip to see who goes first. The person that didn't win game 2 will decide who is going to go first in game 3. And you will start with 6 prizes instead of 1 in game 3 if it becomes a sudden death match. Does everybody understand that? If that's 2 out of 3, if we call time in game 2, if one opponent has drawn at least 4 prizes, that game is considered complete and a game 3 must be played. Okay, so that's how you play best 2 out of 3 matches. If you guys are confused or have questions, please do not clean up your game state till you call a judge over so we can verify that everything is correct and you know what to do next that's proper. So if you have any confusion at any point, but remember, once you finish a game, immediately start the next game. Don't wait for judges to mark anything or do anything. It's up to you as players to remember who won the games. So just start right away. Does anybody have any questions on that, or is there any confusion that we could clear up at this time? Everybody understand? And there are going to be no ties at this tournament, even though ties are now allowed. We are not going to allow them at this time because we didn't get enough notice to change that. However, we will be following all of the standard tournament rules from penalty guidelines to spirit of the game here today. So if you attend normal Pokemon Premier events, all those rules will be in effect here today. And for those of you that are familiar with the penalty guidelines and how they work, this will be considered a Tier 2 event, and all penalties will be applied as a Tier 2 event. If you, at any point, during the event you need a judge, just raise your hand and say judge really clearly. We will get to you as fast as we can. Keep in mind, we're using spirit of the game. You're supposed to be nice and polite today, so if your opponents aren't being nice, and I recommend at any point during the tournament, if there's a stalling issue and you call the last 5 minutes of one of your games and say, my opponent's been stalling the whole game, that's really not going to be helpful. If you have concerns with stalling throughout your match, you need to call a judge and give us notice to watch game state and watch what's going on. And we don't want to hear you complain after the fact that he stalled the entire time. If you didn't call us in a timely manner, the last 5 minutes of your round is not the appropriate time to call someone for stalling. Okay? So, anybody, is everybody excited to be here this morning?